Well, hello, Facebook friends again. This is our weekly briefing and our call to action, which we are saying now. We are calling Christians to attention. We've got the ball in our court. I couldn't be happier seeing the kingdom of darkness fall over this nation as it battles intensely to steal people's not only their lives, but their character and their souls. So all my Facebook friends, I want you to comment. If you are watching us, we've tried to get the word out today. We are working to get a specific time to have our Facebook Live, but it will be posted so you can go on and get our message even after we have been with you live. We thank you for coming on our line. Also, YouTube, Insight USA YouTube, we are live, and it will be posted. But so many things are happening with this ministry. We have fought for years to place the facts in the hands of born-again Christians. We have recruited, trained, and equipped just regular prayers. They have been transformed into prayer warriors. They grew into intercessors, and now we have one of the strongest prayer warrior networks in this country. More and more people are signing up to fly as an eagle with my leadership, and it is working. We're seeing more prayers manifested than we've ever seen. We've been praying for years for Hillary Clinton to be exposed, for the liberal, the New Ager, the anti-Christian messenger of bigotry, and we are now seeing those prayers answered. Boy, we prayed last year before last, that the corruption of she and Bill Clinton would come to light. People didn't think it ever would. They've been able to control the media, control the government, control the colleges and universities. Hillary Clinton is the architect for the homes, literally, that are fatherless. Our homes have become fatherless. They have become godless. They have become impoverished. They have become promiscuous and irresponsible like we have never known. Where did this begin? It really began in the 60s with, I call them, and some of my people have written me and said, what we've got in Bill and Hillary Clinton and all the crimes that are now coming out suggesting that they have committed are Jezebel and Ahab. You cannot miss my upcoming television programs. We're going to be dealing with that spirit. But today on our Facebook moment that we have with you, we have to bring you up to date for current events. They just passed another $4 trillion budget. Now, I've been watching the budgets for years. I've read many of their budgets, and I've reported how much of their wasteful spending has been approved by the people that we elected to the Congress, to the Senate, to the House of Representatives, and to the Oval Office. We can't put the blame anywhere else. When we look at the condition our nation is in, and the $20 trillion that this nation is in debt because the people we elected spent not only the $3 to $4 trillion they collected with revenue, but they spent most of the Social Security Trust Fund, treated it as a new income, bankrupting it, especially since Bill Clinton, George Bush, Herbert Walker Bush, Bill Clinton, George Bush, and Obama. They robbed our Social Security Trust Fund. They are now cutting out of this budget, the 2018 budget that they just passed. They cut out $473 billion from Medicare. The seniors are picking up the bill again. They cut out of Obama's budget, the budgets, $750 billion from Medicare. And they plan now to reduce Social Security to Medicaid, and it's a scam. But you know what? It will not change if Christians do not pay attention. I want you to tell your friends, you must keep up with Faye's weekly briefings. It's Facebook.com, Faye, Faye, USA, every week. And we come different days because we try to keep up with the current events that's as they are happening. Also, you can go on our website, insightUSA.us, with the topics that I address on our Facebook Live. We produce every week a Face Facts, a weekly prayer bulletin with the facts. We bring the current events of that moment, the spirits driving the people who are using the occult to take us down, Bible studies, and biblically based prayer points. You know names, you know bill numbers, and teaching Christians how their government works is what we are doing, and it is working. Informing believers, informing the intercessors and the prayer warriors and the Christians is bringing us into a place of major answered prayer and America's deliverance. You need to get the congressional Congress at your fingertips, because this is a directory that gives you names, addresses, tells you who the senators, House of Representatives, their pictures, phone numbers. It gives you the names, all the information on the administrative secretaries, and even President Trump's phone number, and you can call that number and get a live person to take your comment, and they are so nice. Don't be afraid of your government. After all, they're there because we elected them. 5 presidents that helped drive this nation to a $20 trillion deficit. Bill Clinton did not. Bill Clinton had, when he left, he was not in debt. He had a surplus, but only because that he robbed Social Security Trust Fund, created it as new income, and spent a lot of it. Did you know this? You need to know. What is in this budget, this $4 trillion budget, is $1.5 trillion more than they believe they're going to take in. So they're already taking the $20 trillion to $21.5 if they stop there. The Congress is the only one that's allowed to spend money. The Congress, according to the Constitution, must designate money. In my recent Facebook post, live and otherwise, we have shown you what they're actually funding that is a disgrace. I don't see any change. In this week, November the 3rd's Phase Facts, remember that date, November the 3rd. I'm showing you just what they plan to do with a lot, millions and billions of this money. It is nothing that we should be spending any money for. Number one, with foreign aid, they're spending $9 billion for Iraq, $4 billion for Afghanistan, 4 plus. This is all plus. Actually, it's closer to $10 billion for Iraq, closer to $5 billion for Afghanistan. Ethiopia, $3.5 billion. Palestine, which there is no such thing. It's Yasser Arafat was an Egyptian. $2.5 billion, and all they do is blow up Israel. They give nothing to their people. In fact, Yasser Arafat, when he died, he had so much money in his personal account, nobody knew that he had not used the billions of dollars Bill Clinton designated to him and our Congress for himself. It's the impoverished communities and people is sickening but we just keep pouring in. The more they kill, the more we pay them. And then we've got Vietnam, $2.5 billion, Sudan, $2.5 billion, India, 2.1 billion, Turkey, $2 billion, Bangladesh, $2 billion. Those are just Muslim controlled, basically under Muslim rule, nations. And when you look at the conditions of these nations, it's like looking at Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico has $450 billion in debt with nothing to show for it. Well, we're $20 trillion going on $21.5 trillion in debt after all the other money was spent. The way the Congress designated it, and very little. Our bridges are falling, our highways are, when you come to Florida, it's a disgrace. I used to think it was worse than you could ever see until I went to Dallas, Texas. And it makes us look like we got freeways here of the condition of the roads, highways in Texas. You go to Charlotte, North Carolina, bumper to bumper, and it takes hours to go 30 miles. Our politicians have spent the money that brings back backlashes are actually money laundering to their own slush funds. We're going to close down those slush funds. In this week's for the Facebook friends, it'll be November the 3rd, Face Facts. This is what they just did. I got an email from, I don't remember who I got it from, but it showed that Barack Obama had designated $1.3 billion through 2036 for his vacations. And I gave the details on that in our Face Facts. Can you believe it? After he left, he took discretionary spending and he just designated, and we are giving former presidents over $37 million a year for what? That's the Congress. We're paying Hillary Clinton Secret Service for life. Why? She doesn't live with her husband, who was the president, impeached though he was. This is what they're spending, and they're not changing it. We have, it allows the Senate GOP's tax plan will add $1.5 trillion to the deficit over a decade. And the resolution proposes $473 billion in cuts to Medicare, $1 trillion for Medicaid, which probably is because they are sending so many illegals home. What we're doing to fund illegal immigrants is also against the law. Now, this budget also is funding lawsuits that the House of Representatives narrowly passed a budget resolution Thursday that clears the path for Congress to fast-track tax reform. It also, I want to find it. They have spent $37 million for former billions to settle lawsuits to fund liberal nonprofit organizations. The Obama administration funneled billions of dollars to activist organizations through the Department of Justice slush fund scheme, according to the congressional investigators. Obama's vacation scam. Trump just ended Obama's vacation scam that sent him a bill. You have to see to believe. And using discretionary funds visits and vacations, Obama was able to weasel what is for our free vacations, 1.3. I'm telling you, it says $1.3 billion. I pray that's a typo, but I don't believe it is. The bill also, after some allowances for days, there were possibly 214 million. Of 692 days, the Obama spent on vacation. $550 million is going to Planned Parenthood. Barring that, Planned Parenthood would result in a net cost of $130 million of taxpayers that are funded to them for pregnancies and contraceptives by Medicaid. And what we need to know is what is in this budget. I'm asking you today to stand with me. Number one, we have a movement. Oh, I have a comment. Let's get our comment. And I'll be right back with the Nasty Women's movement and Hillary Clinton and see if we cannot unite and bring the truth to the forefront. Corey.
Christina Chrisman says, disgusting. Obama is a thief. He makes the USA look bad.
Christina, nothing could be more accurate. And they have gotten away with it. He has gotten away with it by exploiting the black community. I have been involved with the black community since I got saved. I was a Sunday school teacher in the first church where I got saved and filled with the Holy Spirit. I sat for 6 years, never missed a service that I was able to attend. And I was a Sunday school teacher with one of the largest classes in that church. It was a singles class. And I got involved with one of my students whose husband was killed on a street in Charlotte, North Carolina called Heroin Alley. And our ministry was so strong, and the anointing on me was so strong, and I thought everybody was the way I was. I found out later that was not to be true. But she had a ministry on a street in Charlotte called Heroin Alley. And she begged me to come and speak at the storefront church in Charlotte, downtown, at her Friday night meeting. I was afraid to go. I didn't think, that was a street where white people were killed. And I didn't feel safe to go. She was anointed to go, and God was working miracles. She made newspapers. Sometimes they have a full page on her success in seeing drug addicts and alcoholics set free by the power of God. One minute they were addicted, and the next minute the demons were called out by Barbara, and they were set free by the power of God. But God showed me I was to go. I did. And when I did, all I did was give my testimony, how the Lord had saved me. I was not looking for the Lord. I'd never been on drugs. I'd never been addicted. I've still to this day never drank. I had a sister that was an alcoholic, that was an embarrassment to our family. My best friend growing up's father was an alcoholic, beat his family, didn't take care of them. And I turned against alcohol at a very young age. I've never tasted it, don't intend to taste it. But I was just giving my testimony because I was broken. My life was a mess, and I was miserable. And when I did, this young man came up, and he was white. I think he was probably the only white person there because we were in a black community. And I prayed for him and many others. And alcoholism left him that night. He went back to his dad in another part of North Carolina. His dad had been praying for him. His dad was very, very sick. We paid his bus ticket to send him home. He got a job driving a truck. And for years, he would call us when he would go through Charlotte and tell us he was still free. I've seen the effects of what poverty can do, poverty and filth. And Barack Obama and his wife, Michelle, exploited the black community. Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, exploited these people. George Bush did nothing for them. It's just, that's okay. This is the way you're going to be. You're not. God has a plan. He created man in his image. And he said, red and yellow, black and white, they are all precious in my sight. And for our government to to brag that we've got 50 million people who can't buy a health insurance policy makes me want to throw up. But we've got to get our message and reverse the lies of these people. And I really appreciate you calling. And I want our Facebook friends, number one, you've got to unite with me with our campaign against Hillary Clinton and the nasty women in this country that has access to our colleges and universities. They are the professors. They are the congresswomen for the most part. They are threatening our president. They are actually bringing, we've had women in the Congress to incite violence against President Trump, violence that he would die, the witches. We dealt with them. They've called for President Trump to die and his ashes to be on the ground and to be blown. We've got members of Congress, not just women, but that literally incite violence against our president. But what we're dealing with are the nasty women that Hillary Clinton claims she leads, but she didn't. It was a Muslim woman that's connected to terrorism that led the charge for the nasty women and even called for jihad in our streets just a couple of months ago. I need everybody that's watching this Facebook post, either live or after it's posted, I need for you to go to our website, the Virtuous Woman's Movement, and sign my petition. And I need for you, now we have an 800 number that we'll be sending out through our Facebook, but also I want you to go and call our 800 number, make a donation, and request a Virtuous Woman's t-shirt. We need to get them by the thousands. There's a lot of people can still wear them now, but we're going to make sure by spring that everywhere people go, they're going to not see nasty women, but they're going to see God's women saying, Hillary Clinton, you do not speak for us. I don't want you to pass the buck. We have contacted almost 14,000 people in Texas, 10,600 or 700 in California in the past 2 weeks with ads. And half of those open our ad. I need for you now not to just open an ad, but you need to order our t-shirt. They're $25. You need to sign that petition. Christians, you must act. Pay attention. We do not have to have $4 trillion wasted by people we elected to office. Plus, we've got to put the protection around President Trump with prayer. I fear every day for all of these people who are calling for his death in the high places to incite an idiot like we just experienced in Las Vegas. They do not know what they're doing. And every one of them are Democrats. What does that mean? That means Christians. We must vote the liberals out of office. We must shut down the slush funds of the rhinos. We must get involved, and we must get people registered to vote in the primaries. I mean, you can call, and I do. I call. I leave messages, but it doesn't matter what we think. The crowd we've elected to office, they've worn a mask for a long time. And you can go now and donate on my 800 number. And that number is 855. I'm going to have to find it. 855. I forgot that number. Can you look up that number for me fast? I had it written down somewhere. I just got it, so I do want to give it to you because you can go to, you can call that number and make a donation right now. It's 8. What is it? 855
887
887
7321.
7321. I've only had it since yesterday. And you can make a donation of any amount. $25 donation gets you our t-shirt. And you can ask for the face facts there. And you can, for $99, you can order the Congressional Directory, which puts you in touch with the people that's really robbing us blind. Are all of them robbing us blind? Not all, but the majority. And they can hear from you. Christians, we literally, I'm talking to Christians. I know I have a couple of people that they give me their nasty comments. All I do is pray for them. But Hillary Clinton is America's Jezebel. Bill Clinton is America's Ahab. And their number has come up. And what they have sown, they are about to reap. The kingdom of darkness. But the Christians, we must build the kingdom of light to overtake it. It's beautiful here at our national headquarters in Orlando, Florida. It's just gorgeous. The weather is awesome. So I want you to know that we get your messages, and we thank you if you would forward our Facebook messages, especially about the nasty women. And you're going to be getting a special message pretty soon. That would help a lot. So till next week, watch our shows. Go to YouTube, Insight USA. Go to our website, insightUSA.us. And if you're watching us on YouTube or the website, please go to Facebook, Faye USA, and like us. Thank you so much, and have a super great weekend.